What's up, heroes? Let's dive into Challenger Archetype Remnant 2. This is one of my personal favorites and is a spiritual successor to the Scrapper for Remnant from the Ashes. If you're like me and love being the tank, getting right into the thick of the things, drawing enemy attention, and taking the big hits, the Challenger is your ideal playstyle. This archetype is durable, thrives in close range combat, and can take a beating while keeping the team safe. With its focus on survivability, it is truly perfect for players who want to play the tank role in a party. Its durability makes it especially friendly for franchise newcomers or souls like rookies, as it allows you to absorb damage and recover quickly. This archetype is built for close combat, which can make it a little more risky for new players, but it doesn't rely heavily on accuracy. The weapons with lower accuracy work well here. All right, let's talk about how to unlock the Challenger. You can unlock the Challenger by selecting it as your starting class or by crafting the Steel Ensoul Engram. To craft the Engram, which is this guy right here, to craft the Engram, you'll need the Old Metal Tool, which you'll be able to buy from Reggie. Once you buy it from Reggie, you'll bring it all the way up to Wallace and craft your Engram so you can then equip the Challenger. All right, let's talk about the starting equipment for the Challenger. For the armor, you're going to start with the Bruiser set, which is a pretty solid foundation of defense right from the start. Has a little heavy but bulky, where you'll be able to take some damage at the start of the game. And then the weapons you'll have are the AS-10 Bulldog Shotgun, the Iron Greatsword, and the Silverback Metal 500. All of these are geared toward close range combat. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, this can make it a little bit more difficult if you're brand new to the series, because it's a little bit more risky of a playstyle. You're gonna be up close and personal. You do have some additional perks where you can help you stay alive a little bit longer, get a second chance, if you will. But the Challenger can be a little bit tricky to play because it is a close range archetype, unlike where the Handler, where you can play a little bit more safe and have your dog aggro all the enemies while you're in the back shooting, picking things off. So just keep that mindful when you're picking a Challenger. It's a fun class. It's one of my personal favorites, but it can be a little bit more risky playstyle. Risk less reward. So if that's your style, go for it. Segueing into our perks, let's talk about the Challenger's prime perk, Die Hard. When receiving failed damage, the Challenger becomes invulnerable for 3 seconds and regenerates 100% of max health. While on cooldown, the Challenger gains 1 stack of Bulwark, can only happen every 10 minutes, and resets at World Stone or on death. Just to note, the 3 seconds is at max level, level 10. At level 1, you will only be invulnerable for 2 seconds. You regenerate 50% of your max health, but everything else will still be there. That stack of Bulwark is nice because now you have 7% damage reduction, so not too shabby with that. But this can only happen once every 10 seconds, so no, don't make it a habit of dying all the time. So nice prime perk. Kind of works like the Handler prime perk, but you don't need to sit here and have a relic on hand or worry about your pet getting to you. This is not too shabby. I like this one a lot. It's great to have, especially in boss fights. Or you're just being swarmed by enemies and you go down, you get a second chance. I happen to like Die Hard a lot. Great movie too. It's a Christmas movie. Don't argue, you know it is. It's a Christmas movie. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Let's move on to the perks. As we discussed last time, there are 4 different perks. We have our damage, team, utility, and relic perks. So the first perk you're going to unlock is Close Quarters, which is your damage perk. And at level 1, it's going to increase all damage to enemies within 10 meters by 3.5%. The bonus tapers off up to 20 meters. Level 5, you unlock it to where it's going to be bonus damage of 21%, and it also adds in critical chance. Level 10 will fully boost your damage up to 35% within 10 meters. The critical chance does not change. Everything levels up as you're playing your game. So everything you see right here is max level. Just know that there are different levels for each one that you'll see at max level. So I'm just going to cover the max level ones, but I wanted to give you a breakdown of that. Next one is Intimidating Presence. Team perk. After activating a Challenger skill, enemies within 15 meters deal 10% less damage for 15 seconds, with an additional 2.5 damage reduction per enemy affected, max 10%. Again, this is max level. This is level 10. The next perk we have is our Powerlifter, which is a utility perk. Both stamina costs increase for each weight bracket, and stamina regen delay are reduced by 50%. So not bad. As you level this up, you're going to have 50% reduced stamina cost and stamina regen delay, so you regen your stamina faster. So this is a nice little perk to have if you're looking, because you'd be wearing such heavy armor, it's going to eat at your stamina when you dodge. So this is nice to have to reduce that. Our last perk is Face of Danger, which is your relic perk. Whenever you use a relic within 10 meters of an enemy, it grants you 2 stacks of Bulwark and 10% increased damage for 10 seconds. So this is a nice little boost because you're going to be playing up close and personal, probably using a shotgun or some type of weapon. It's in close. You're going to always have this when you pop a relic, which is really, really nice. Happen to like that a lot. And then you get you get 2 stacks of your bulwark, which will be like 14-ish% of damage reduction. So not too shabby with that perk either. The perks in general are really nice. They're really, again, they are really geared towards close range combat. So if you like that close range combat, these are some great perks for you to work together with that type of build. Let's move into the Challenger skills. The Challenger has 3 powerful skills. They are unique with each effect and will change the way you play depending on which one you go. The first one you start out with when you choose the Challenger is the War Stomp. This creates a high impact tremor that deals 153.4 damage, an additional stagger in front and a forward code up to 7.5 meters. Deals damage in all directions at point blank range. So as you're playing around with this, you'll attack and it's going to go in a range just like that, 7.5 meters. Nice little cone. Little tidbit here, if you were making an explosive build and want to play with the Challenger, this works with explosions, so you can modify what happens with it. There are some amulets that when you use an explosion, it will, after it causes an explosion, you can light enemies on fire. So pretty some cool things you can do with that build. I happen to like the War Stomp. It is helpful, especially in a pinch when you have enemies swarming you. You can take out some quick, weaker enemies just with one stomp. So it works out really nicely. All right, so I reset the skills and I switched over to Juggernaut, which is our second ability you unlock at level 5. And the Juggernaut, you become nearly unstoppable, gaining 3 stacks of bulwark, 50% movement and melee speed, and reduced stamina cost. This will also increase your melee damage by 50%, and you get a stagger level reduced by 1. Stagger level reducing by 1 means you just won't get staggered as much. So taking bigger hits or getting hit multiple times, you'll have less chance of actually being staggered, which is nice. This whole ability lasts 25 seconds. So I came over to the dummy so we can actually see this in action. You pop this, you get your 3 stacks of bulwark, which gives you 18% damage reduction. And you get faster run speed and you get faster melee attack. You see swing pretty hard, and your melee damage now also increased by 50%. So not a bad little perk, skill, especially if you're looking towards making a melee build, which are fun to play. So definitely play around and have fun. Let's check out the last skill that the Challenger has. We'll reset the skills. All right, so Rampage is the last skill you unlock at level 10 with the Challenger, and you'll enter a heightened state of battle, which increases fire rate by 10%, reload speed by 25%, and movement speed by 15%. Last 10 seconds. In addition to this, every kill and dealing significant damage grants 1 stack of rage, which increases rain damage by 2.5 per stack. Upon reaching 10 stacks, the Challenger goes berserk, which reloads their current firearm and doubles their rampage effects for 15 seconds. So not too bad. I happen to like this one. Pairing this with like the Ritualist can be really nice because of all the AoE damage. This will proc rampage pretty quickly. We'll go ahead and pop it. Go into a fit, and you start shooting your enemy, and you notice underneath my stamina bar, there's a bunch of stacks popping up. Those are your rampage stacks, and they last for 10 seconds. And when you hit 10, now you go into a fit, and now you are in a fit of rage. You're like going berserk mode. You have faster reload, faster movement, and faster ranged and more range damage. So not too bad. I happen to like this one a lot, especially with the Ritualist. It's fun to play. I happen to like the Rampage and Juggernaut are my 2 favorite ones. War Stomp is very nice. Great if you're in a pinch and you have too many enemies around you, but you could probably make it pretty powerful spec correctly, especially if you're playing an explosive build. So really overall cool skills with the Challenger I happen to like. Well, let me know what you think about the Challenger skills and which one you're going to be focusing on the most. You're going to be making an actual Juggernaut and going in and smacking people and getting up close and personal with your melee weapon, or you're going to go into berserk mode and just fire off as many bullets as you can into your enemies' faces. All right, let's look at our traits. The Challenger trait is Strung Back, and this will increase your weight, your dodge weight threshold by a maximum of 15. Level 1, you do 1.5. What this means is that you have your dodge weight, your threshold. So as you're wearing heavy armor, even though you see I'm wearing heavy armor, without that trait, I'd probably be in the heavy weight restriction, which means I'm going to cost more stamina, a slower roll, and that is a far roll. So you want to make sure that, as you're playing as a Challenger, you want to be wearing heavier armor to play into the Challenger close range combat and all the perks that provide you, so you can really be a tank. having this reducing it by increasing it by 15 points is nice. So even when you start wearing like even heavier armor, you won't drop right into overweight or encumbered. You'll actually have just enough to get you by to keep you into that medium or heavy threshold. So you can at least dodge still and not flop. And that is the trait for the Challenger. Overall, the Challengers are a really great playstyle. I happen to enjoy it. It has, I think, all of them pretty versatile. This one's nice and versatile too. You can mix it well with the medic and make like a paladin. You can mix it well with the handler and have your dog run around with you and help just keep you topped off, regenerating your health, and then getting more melee damage, 30% off of that, including your range damage. Especially if I'm playing to like a melee build, pair this with Juggernaut and your Pack Hunter, you get some decent melee combat there, or melee damage. So overall, it's a nice versatile build. I happen to like it with the Ritualist, to put the Ritualist first and then Challenger second, and choose Rampage for the Challenger. Overall, there's lots of different ways you can play a Challenger, and it's really cool. Maybe we'll look into some different ones as we go further into these videos and look at different builds we can play. Let me know what you think of the Challenger. What archetype are you going to play with the Challenger, and which one has you excited for it? I would love to know how you're going to play the Challenger. I appreciate you all watching this. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll answer them all. I love interacting with you all. The engagement is always fun. I appreciate you all watching this. I'll see you in the next one, heroes. Peace out, everyone.